The 4-3 Denver Broncos will host the 3-4 Miami Dolphins here on CBS. Hi everyone, I'm Greg Gumbel along with my Hall of Fame partner Dan Deerdorf. The Denver Broncos started the season winning their first 3 games. Miami lost its first 2, but Dan, if Miami should win here today, you could make a case for this being 2 teams headed in opposite directions.
Darn right, Greg, because they get back to 500. They're coming off the big win last week against Buffalo. And when you only won 1 game a year ago, let's face it, that's a lot to feel good about. Conversely, Denver got whitewashed 2 weeks ago in that game against New England, thoroughly embarrassed. Their defense is very suspect. Where they go from here, good team, average team, I'm not sure.
Now, generally speaking, in the National Football League, you can say that as the quarterback goes, so goes that particular team. But it's especially true of the 2 quarterbacks of these teams today.
Wow, how Miami has been uplifted by the addition of Chad Pennington. To think that he was waived by the Jets, they got him for nothing. The way he has turned this thing around, he's got a quarterback rating in triple digits. And Jay Cutler 2 weeks ago, hurt his index finger on his throwing hand, first play of the game. It clearly affected his performance then, but he says it's fine now. It shouldn't be a problem.
We'll remind you that this game is coming your way in high definition here on CBS. The Miami Dolphins have won the toss, and they will defer, which means the Broncos will get their hands on the football first. Number 19 is Eddie Royal. He is deep to receive the kick. The Miami Dolphins at 3-4. The Denver Broncos at 4-3, and we're underway at Mile High. That goes through Royal's hands into and out of the end zone. And so the Broncos will start at their own 20-yard line, and Jay Cutler is the Broncos quarterback. His 163 completions, more than any other AFC quarterback, 13 touchdown passes. He's only been sacked 4 times this season. So the Broncos get underway at their own 20-yard line. Our referee today is Tony Correnti. And first down for the Broncos. The pitch for Michael Pittman, and Pittman is stacked up for a 2-yard loss. 2 terrific rookie left tackles on display here today. The Broncos are proud as can be of their first-round pick, Ryan Clady, out of Boise State. And the backs and the receivers, and Cutler has the outstanding Brandon Marshall, and he teams with the best rookie wide receiver in the NFL in Eddie Royal. Officially a 1-yard loss on the play, so it's 2nd and 11. And this is Pittman again, trying the left side, and not much there. Miami's 3-4 defense, the youngster on the front line is the rookie out of Hampton, Kendall Langford. The linebackers, Roth, Crowder, Adele, and Joey Porter having a great year leading the NFL with 10.5 sacks starting the weekend. And the veteran of the secondary in his 8th year out of Syracuse, cornerback Will Allen. They will have their hands full today with the talented Denver receivers. And there's a look at Joey Porter as he and the Dolphin defense get set for a 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, Cutler has intercepted by number 32, Jason Allen. Turnovers have been a problem of late, and they bite the Denver Broncos right off the bat.
And Jason Allen, a number 1 draft choice a couple years ago that a lot of people in South Florida were saying this kid might be a big-time bust. What a way to get a game started. Jay Cutler has fine pass protection, able to step right up into the pocket, but he's expecting Brandon Stokely to break to the sideline. Stokely breaks to the middle of the field, and Jay Cutler just throws a bullet right to Jason Allen. A real miscommunication between quarterback and receiver.
Cutler's 8th pick of the season, and here is Ronnie Brown. Ronnie Brown to about the 32-yard line. The Miami quarterback is the ex-Jet, Chad Pennington. Reborn to rave reviews as a Dolphin, completing 69% of his throws on the season.
By the way, how good does Tony Sparano look right now, Greg? Deferring, kicking to Denver, 2 running plays for nothing, and on the 3rd play, an interception.
I think you'd say so far so good.
Yes.
There's the first-year coach for the Miami Dolphins. on 2nd and 8. It's Brown inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. The Miami offensive line features the NFL's overall #1 draft pick, Big Jake Long, all 6'7", 310 pounds of him out of Michigan. And the backs and the receivers, and Mr. Reliable and Mr. Excitement this year has been Ronnie Brown, 7 rushing touchdowns. He's also thrown for 1. Jay Cutler throwing the interception on the first series from the sideline, and they go to the Wildcat offense on 3rd and 3. Ronnie Brown behind center. Going to run it straight ahead, looking for running room, and he's not going to get the first down. He's stacked up short of the 25-yard line. The Wildcat puts Ronnie Brown taking a direct snap, and the quarterback is flanked as a wide receiver.
Yeah, that time Chad Pennington was to the top of the field, and this is what Denver's thinking about doing. Carl Pema comes up, gets right in his face, and is going to make contact with him. They're not going to give the quarterback a free ride when he lines up at the wide receiver. He's just another player out there, subject to being hit.
This will be rookie Dan Carpenter with a 45-yard field goal attempt. He has a long of 47 this season. The kick is on its way and looks pretty good. And just like that, the Miami Dolphins turn an interception into 3 points. Miami leads the Broncos 3-0 in Denver. A Miami win here today puts the Dolphins in the conversation in the AFC East at 4-4. The Jets have beaten Buffalo. Both those teams are 5-3. New England will play tonight. They lead the division at 5-2 right now. Here's the kick, and this is Royal at his own goal line to the 20 and out to about the 23-yard line. And so Jay Cutler throwing an interception on the first series. Back onto the field after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Red Lobster. During Endless Shrimp at Red Lobster, indulge in endless choices of your shrimp favorites. And by Sprint. Get NFL Mobile Live, only from Sprint, only on the Now Network.
Hey, a reminder, you can log on now at cbssports.com and get the latest scores, stats, and breaking news from around the league in our live game centers. 11:29 to play. First quarter, Miami on top 3-0. And Cutler in the offense back to work from its own 23. Cutler throwing a little flare out here, and that's complete to Peyton Hillis. Hillis across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. Turnovers have been a killer for the Denver Broncos.
And that puts a suspect defense in even worse position. How frustrating that has to be for Mike. And you notice he threw the ball on first down that time after 2 running plays on the first series, netted absolutely nothing.
Dan, the last 4 games and part of this 5th, Denver has allowed 43 points off turnovers.
Well,
Brandon Stokely, the intended receiver.
And Stokely was on the ground. He either stumbled, tripped, or whatever. His legs went out from under him. And again, Jay Cutler goes to Stokely, and he's not where he's supposed to be. The first one resulted in an interception. Remember, Brandon Stokely didn't play last week. He suffered in a concussion in the Jacksonville game, early in that game. So this is the first game experience he and Jay have had in about 3 weeks.
4 wide receivers now onto the field for Denver. Marshall, Darrell Jackson, Eddie Royal, and Stokely, as well as the tight end, Daniel Graham. Cutler throwing, and that one is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Darrell Jackson. That was a catchable ball.
Well, this looks like a pretty good throw from Jay Cutler, working out of that cluster formation. Just sitting right down is Darrell Jackson. The ball hits him right in the left bicep. Those are just, when you're sputtering on offense early, you just can't afford a routine first down ball like that to be dropped.
Back deep for the kick now is Ted Ginn Jr. And he's all the way back and out of bounds at his own 11-yard line.
That's what you call a perfect punt.
Brett Kern, the rookie out of Toledo, gets off a pretty decent 60-yard kick. There's the Miami first-year head coach, Tony Sparano. Could also go by the name No Nonsense, because he is all business.
Doesn't he work for some guy named Parcells?
Something like that.
Yeah. What a surprise.
From the 12-yard line, Pennington and the Dolphins. Brown looking for running room straight up the middle to about the 13-yard line. That's 4 offensive plays, 4 running plays.
One of the things that Tony Sparano would like to see is his offensive line holding their blocks a little longer. Said we're leaving too many bodies in the hole at the point of attack. He wants these guys to do a better job of keeping their feet, sustaining their blocks, staying with them a couple yards downfield. The running game, especially the last 3 weeks, has really been lagging.
On 2nd and 8, this is Brown, and Brown with a big hole up the middle. 30, 40. Out across the 40 to the 43-yard line. A first down, tripped up by Marlon McCree.
Well, another thing I asked Tony Sparano, what was one of your biggest surprises when you got to Miami? And it was finding out what an outstanding football player Ronnie Brown was. I think he just mesmerized the defense of the Broncos by almost going down here. I don't know if they lose sight of him, think he's down or whatever, but he stays with it, comes back up, and there's not a blue shirt within 5 yards of it.
Ronnie Brown at the sideline, Ricky Williams into the backfield for the first time today. And here is Ricky for his first carry, left side, and a penalty marker flies.
Now thrown by the umpire, this is 90% of the time holding on one of those 5 guys up front.
And you, if nothing else, are a numbers man.
Well, you might get a face mask called by the umpire, but more often than not, it's holding, and that's what it's going to be here.
Here's Tony Correnti.
Holding, defense. This 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Well, there's one of those 10%ers.
Will you be anywhere near a television on election night?
Well, that is
giving the odds and the percentages.
Well, they hold true, and as you see right there, that was one of the 10 times. That is one of the most infrequently called penalties in pro football, defensive holding on a defensive lineman. You don't see that very often. They get away with it on numerous occasions.
On first down, Pennington to throw. Running out of time, throws his far side, and that's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Lou Polite, and it'll be 2nd and 10. You know, Mike Shanahan told us, and we're talking about running the ball, and he said, I can deal with giving up passing yards, but he has been working very hard on the Denver run defense.
And for good reason, because they're just giving up staggering numbers, 155 yards a game. And you know, there's some statistics surrounding the Denver Bronco team that you look at them and you go, how is it possible they have a winning record?
Second and 10. And we get a whistle. This play won't count.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 92. Jumping in the neutral zone, causing an offensive player to false start.
Elvis Dumerville is guilty.
Remains 2nd out.
Well, that's twice now the defensive line of the Broncos has aided this Miami drive. First, they extended it with a holding call that gave them an automatic first down, and now you take a 2nd and 10 and you make it manageable.
Brown and Ricky Williams are in the lineup for this Wildcat offense again. Williams in motion. And Brown follows Williams around the right side and can't shake free.
Well, Greg alluded to Mike Shanahan's frustration about the Denver rushing defense in week 1. It was Justin Fargas. He had a 42-yarder. Larry Johnson went for 65 in week 4. Warwick Dunn In week 5, he went for 38. MJD busted loose for 46 and a touchdown. Sammy Morris wanted a little bit of the action, and then Ronnie Brown, he took off for 30. So it has been a sore spot that just won't heal for the Denver defense.
And Chad Pennington calls timeout. 8:17 to play here in the first quarter. 3-0 Miami Dolphins. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Denver. Pennington and the Dolphins with a 3rd and 4 and needing the 38-yard line of Denver for a first down.
4 receivers up there to the top.
One of them, Camarillo, back in motion. Pennington throwing this side and completes it. And that is to the 30-yard line and a first time, Greg Camarillo.
Well, I like the fact that he didn't go out of bounds. This is a ball, Chad looking there all the way. Didn't look off the safeties or anything, but Camarillo gets open. And then instead of letting his momentum carry him out of bounds, which is where Josh Bell thought he was going to go, cuts back to the inside and picks himself up another 4 or 5 yards.
Coming up on 7.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Ronnie Brown, not much there. Bulls his way to the 28-yard line.
We were talking about this Bronco defense and some of their problems. Look where they are statistically in the league. 30th against the run, 30th yards per play, points 29th. Interceptions, they only have 2. If you can believe that, that's not very many interceptions for 7 games of football now, working on their 8th. A lot to get fixed, and they got to get it done in a hurry.
2nd and 8. Pennington rolling, now on the run, and slides down inside the 30 at about the 27 and 28-yard line. So that'll bring the Dolphins and Pennington to 3rd and 7.
Now, go figure that. With all the problems that they have defensively, they haven't given up a first quarter touchdown.
Michael say, yeah, but the rest of the game has been murder.
So the next three quarters have been quarters with a lot of issues.
Now for the season, Miami just 1 for 32 on 3rd down and 7 or more yards. Pennington, far sideline, overthrows his man. It's now 1 for 33.
Oh, and he had Camarillo too. He was open, and the ball just sailed on Chad. That should have been a pretty easy completion. Carl Pema giving Camarillo all sorts of cushion. Camarillo sold him on the deep pattern, got his shoulders turned, and that just bad throw from Chad.
Carl Pema starting at cornerback for the injured Champ Bailey. This is a 47-yard field goal attempt from Dan Carpenter, who was good from 45 earlier. This kick is on the way, and this one looked pretty good too. His season long, 47, 6-0, the Dolphins. Vote for your favorite players for the 2009 Pro Bowl today at NFL.com, and then enter for a chance to win a trip to Hawaii to see the 2009 Pro Bowl. You can vote online or on your mobile phone, only at NFL.com/Pro Bowl. Once again, Eddie Royal, 2 yards deep in the end zone. To the 20, and out to the 25-yard line. And once again, Jay Cutler, who may be feeling a little frustrated this early part of the game, Dan.
Well, yeah, it's a sputtering passing offense. He starts it off with an interception to Jason Allen. This one gets short-armed down there trying to find Stokely, and then he's got a good pass to Darrell Jackson that he can't control. Keep in mind, this is the third-rated pass offense in the entire National Football League. And Brandon Marshall is the most go-to receiver in the NFL. Time to get him going.
Here's Michael Pittman left side. Now Mike Shanahan promised us a look early on at the rookie out of Arizona, Ryan Terrain, but he is yet to make an appearance.
Well, Pittman is nursing some sore ribs. There's Terrain. And you notice on his left arm, that's the reason that he hasn't played yet. He dislocated that elbow back in early August. he was working his way into being the starting tailback for this Denver offense, and everyone here in the Rocky Mountain area is anxiously awaiting to see this rookie get on the field.
Now on 2nd and 8, Cutler to throw. With time, far sideline, incomplete. Overthrows Brandon Marshall.
Well, for good reason, because Andre Goodman was all over Brandon Marshall. Excellent coverage there by the Dolphins corner to that side. Marshall does a good job of trying to come back to the football, but you see Goodman never turned his shoulders, never got too far downfield, and then he's able to come back and tighten it up on number 15. Brandon Marshall, a big target. Pretty darn good there by Miami.
Miami defense has been standing up strong. Now on 3rd and 8, Cutler. Intercepted again. Will Allen to the 15, the 10, cuts it back, touchdown.
I cannot believe how out of sync Jay Cutler and this passing offense of the Broncos is, and we're still in the first quarter. They've had 2 weeks to get ready for this game, coming off a bye after getting obliterated by New England, and they look like they're still in that New England game.
That is the first quarter touchdown an opponent has registered against the Denver Broncos this season, and Will Allen gets the pick and the touchdown. 10 points off turnovers. Miami with a 13-0 lead and a dazed Jay Cutler on the sideline.
To the right of your screen is Will Allen lined up on Brandon Stokely. He's going to fall off of Stokely, float back to the outside. Jay Cutler does not see him coming from underneath as he tries to throw the ball to Brandon Marshall. Great work by the veteran corner, coming off his intended guy, getting in on the play and giving his team a touchdown. And you're right, Greg, you said a dazed Jay Cutler. That has to be what he is right now.
Dan, we're talking with Will Allen yesterday afternoon, and we were talking about these Dolphins going up against a big receiver like Brandon Marshall. He says you have to outquick them because that's the only way you're going to win that battle.
Or in that case, just be smart. Your coverage is on Brandon Stokely. You read the pass, fall off, make the play.
Here's Eddie Royal from his goal line. 20. Getting outside, no. Puts it back inside. Gets a couple of blocks, and he has running room. Royal to midfield. Needs a block. Got it. And he will go inside the 20 to the 10 and down to the 5-yard line. Patrick Cobb prevented the touchdown for the moment.
And no team in recent memory needed a special teams start-me-up more than the Denver Broncos, and Eddie Royal was more than happy to deliver. Look at him all the way to the right. He's 3 yards from the right sideline. He's going to end up getting tackled on the other sideline. How about that? And look at the hustle out front. That's Peyton Hillis, a fullback, blocking two different guys. And wow, what did the Broncos get in Eddie Royal with a second-round pick? Explosiveness is what they got.
Ryan Torain in the backfield on 1st and goal from the 5. He gets his first carry straight ahead to about the 3 or maybe the 2.5.
Well, he is a powerful back, and that's what Mike Shanahan likes about Ryan Torain. And you saw it right there, his instinct. Did you see him lower the shoulder? Yeah, the Dolphins were waiting for him, but there wasn't a lot of trying to tap dance around. He loves the fact that when he's not afraid to revert to the power game and try to muscle it up.
2nd and goal. Cutler going to throw for it. Corner of the end zone incomplete. Intended for Darrell Jackson. It'll be 3rd and goal.
There's Will Allen again. Boy, this Miami defense. Defensive coordinator Paul Pasqualoni, they moved to the 3-4 from the 4-3 they played last year. makes a big difference in the freedom that Joey Porter gets going back to weak side linebacker. But I love the intensity that these guys play with. They are just getting after it, and considering that they're in a new system, still making adjustments, you folks in South Florida got to be pretty pleased.
Receivers in the game now on 3rd and goal. Cutler throwing, touchdown. And Eddie Royal, fittingly enough, caps off the Denver drive.
Well, there's Eddie Royal, line up to the right side. He's just going to come across and just squat. He's going to sit right in the middle of the zone. It's way too late for anybody from Miami to react. He found a hole, squatted like a quail going to cover, and got a stick.
Like a quail going to cover. Matt Prater with the extra point. 3:50 to play in the first quarter. Jay Cutler to Eddie Royal. And the Denver Broncos are right back in it. It's 13-7 Miami. Hey, Inside the NFL is now on Showtime. Every Wednesday, join JB, Phil Simms, Warren Sapp, Chris Collinsworth for all the best in highlights, insights, and more. Wednesday, only on Showtime. Eddie Royal's 95-yarder, and then he caps it off with the 2-yard touchdown catch, his 3rd TD catch of the season. And the Broncos right back into this. They trail 13-7 with 3:50 to play in the first. Matt Prater to kick it away. Ted Ginn Jr. standing at his goal line trying to duplicate. Prater booms this one. And Ginn will not run this one out of the end zone. So it'll be Miami starting at its own 20-yard line behind Chad Pennington.
Well, the Dolphins have a history of scoring defensive touchdowns. There's Jason Taylor picking up a Brian Griese fumble. Kenny Mixon then picked off Griese. He went 56 yards for a score. Back in 02, Patrick Surtain picked off Brian Griese. He went 40. Jason Taylor took a Plummer fumble back, and then Will Allen makes it 5 out of the last 6 games the Miami D has scored against the Denver offense. That's pretty unbelievable. 5 out of the last 6.
Ricky Williams in the backfield to start this series for the Dolphins. Pennington, quick pass, incomplete. Camarillo, the intended receiver, and number 51, Jamie Winborn, who is starting in place of injured Boss Bailey, may have gotten a hand on that and tipped it.
I'm assuming he did, because the ball certainly didn't end up anywhere near. And again, a big loss with Boss Bailey, but the Broncos had a real luxury here signing a veteran like Winborn, and you can see the ball hit him on the left forearm.
On 2nd and 10, Pennington throws the out pattern, and that is just short of a first down to Camarillo.
And that's the other guy that's got big shoes to fill out there. Camarillo going against Carl Payman, number 41. He's filling in for Champ Bailey, who tore his groin a couple weeks ago, and he's going to be out at least another week, maybe as many as 3 more weeks, depending on how quickly it heals.
Mike Shanahan seems to think he's a pretty quick healer.
Well, that is wishful thinking if I've ever heard it. This defense, with their struggles, cannot afford to be without Champ Bailey for an extended period of time.
Ronnie Brown now on 3rd and short behind Pennington. Going to get the ball. And is not going to get a first down. He looks to be about half a yard shy of a first down.
Well, and that's what we talked about early about Tony Sperano saying, we're just leaving too many people at the point of attack. Ronnie Brown had nowhere to go. The offensive line of Miami just did not get any movement off the ball whatsoever.
So Darrell Jackson, number 82, goes back to receive the kick. And now he's coming off, and Eddie Royal is going out there.
I'd let Eddie Royal to handle every single one he can.
Brandon Fields kicks it away and booms it out of there. Backing Royal back, and he's going to let it bounce into the end zone for the touchback. The Denver Broncos are going to finish this day on top of the AFC West no matter what happens, but still they'd like a little more breathing room than what they have so far. They're at 4-3. San Diego 3-5, Oakland 2-5, and Kansas City at 1-7.
Just keep in mind that 4-3 record, though, is a little misleading. They started out winning 3 in a row, and they have now lost 3 of their last 4. And the last 2, the loss to Jacksonville, you know, they were in it, but they got physically handled and then just routed by New England 2 weeks ago.
This is Ryan Terrain. Terrain trying to find running room, shakes one tackler, can't shake the next 2, and he's down at about the 17-yard line. Kendall Langford, number 70, the rookie out of Hampton, leading the charge.
And kudos to Miami for the way they are defending first down when Denver's trying to run. Joey Porter back healthy, he's a big part of that. But this entire Denver offense, if they do not get their running game going, it's all based off the running game, and if they can't get it going on the early downs, they are going to be in trouble for the rest of the season.
Loss of 2 makes it 2nd and 12, and Cutler to throw. Far side of the field, incomplete. Overthrowing Brandon Marshall. Well covered by Andre Goodman once again.
Well, this is one of the things we want to keep an eye on today is Ryan Clady, number 78, the left tackle, the rookie, going against the old man, Joey Porter, with his 10.5 sacks. Clady has not given up a sack this year. Astonishing for a rookie. This guy looks like a 5 or 6 year veteran. He is special.
3rd and 12. Cutler with a screen to the near side. This is Pittman, and Pittman wrapped up at about the 22, and that'll bring on a punting situation. Joey Porter told us yesterday, after our conversation with him, he went up to Colorado State to watch his alma mater take on BYU, and he gave a little pregame talk, and unfortunately his alma mater came up a little short.
Well, if I'm hard pressed to think that it was his talk that had anything to do with it. You cannot listen to Joey Porter and his passion for the game. You can't hear him talk about it, especially if you're an alum, and not be moved by it. The guy lives it and breathes it.
This kick pulled in by Devon Bess, and Bess is racked up at about the 36-yard line of the Dolphins. Jamie Winborn with the stop, and
Well, if you're afraid of heights, that'll make the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Here's big Jake Long. Ricky Williams, the deep man in the backfield for the Dolphins. Pennington, little pump fake, toss over the middle, and that's incomplete. Williams had it go through his arms. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Boy, we have seen some dropped passes so far in the first quarter of this football game. And by the way, we'll be watching Jake Long all day today. He's got an interesting matchup a lot of the time.
You almost said all day long, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Going against Elvis Dumerville over on the other side, the rather short defensive end, yet very accomplished defensive end. We've got 2 exceptional talents, both rookies, playing left tackle for their respective teams here today.
Pennington out of the shotgun. Throws this side, Camarillo. Camarillo across the 40 out to about the 43. And that'll be a 3rd and 3. And we're in the final 25 seconds of the first quarter.
Well, certainly Miami has had the better of this quarter. If it wasn't for that the kickoff return by Eddie Royal. I know that Tony Sperano really sick about that put Denver in such good position. Other than that, they've got it under control.
We've come to the end of one. Miami leading Denver by a score of 13-7. We're back after this. This is the NFL on CBS. Cutler intercepted again. Will Allen, touchdown. Back for the start of the second quarter.
Greg, the question here is, where's Ted Ginn? 7 catches for 175 yards last week, and he hasn't even been thrown to in the first quarter of this game.
Let's see who Pennington looks to now on 3rd and 3. Nobody. He goes down at the 35, courtesy of Ebenezer Ekubon with his 4th sack of the season.
And Ekubon's return, a big deal for Denver. He tore his Achilles last year, and he just explodes all over Vernon Carey. He just drops Carey on his backside, totally surprising him with that bull rush. Whoa. Let me tell you, the defensive line will have fun with that in the meeting room this week.
2nd sack of the day by the Denver defense, 13 over the last 4 games. Eddie Royal drifting back from his own 10-yard line. Looking for running room. Out to about the 25. .17 to play here in the first half, and here's a reminder for you. Saturday, John Parker Wilson and the #1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide roll into Death Valley to meet Charles Scott and the Bayou Bengals of LSU. All the excitement begins with Tim Brando and Spencer Silliman on TIAA Creft College football today. It's Coach Saban going back to LSU. That'll be a fun day, won't it?
It depends what your definition of fun will be. Yes. There might be a little heckling going on.
Cutler on 1st down, throwing far side of the field, and that's complete. That's Peyton Hillis out of the backfield. Pickup of 6 on the play will make it 2nd and 4. There are some youngsters in that backfield when Michael Pittman is not there. Andre Hall is a 2nd-year guy out of South Florida. Spencer Larson's a rookie. Peyton Hillis is a rookie. Ryan Terrain is a rookie.
And Selvin Young, who's normally the starting tailback, he's missing this game again with an injury. He's been really bothered by a groin issue. But you're right, bunch of kids and the old man.
From the shotgun on 2nd and 4, Cutler with time, throwing over the middle, and that's complete across midfield to Darrell Jackson and a 1st down at the Miami 46.
Well, Darrell Jackson runs a post pattern on Jeremiah Bell, and he gets the inside position, and Cutler, after looking to the right, comes back to the left. Just a simple post pattern, and man, when Jay Cutler decides to let it go, it is gone. And look at that tight spiral, something he was unable to do against New England 2 weeks ago after injuring his index finger on his throwing hand. That's a good-looking pass.
On 1st down, Cutler throws this side now and incomplete. Hillis is intended receiver, and that time Jeremiah Bell was right there.
Well, he said, hey, I know you completed it on me last time. Let's not try it twice in a row. This is how a safety comes up and delivers a hit when he sees that nothing but the 5-yard hitch. Times it pretty well. Gets right there, got the right arm around, interrupted the catching of the ball, and then got a good lick in at the end.
I thought Will Allen, when we talked to him yesterday, it was very interesting. He said, when we take the field these days, we have a very, very small margin of error. We can't afford many mistakes. This is Pittman. And Pittman hit at the line of scrimmage across the 45 to about the 43.5.
Greg, just to finish up what you said about Will Allen, 1 in 15 will bring a certain amount of humility to anybody. And you talk to any one of these Miami players, these guys have pride. These guys have been winners in their youth, in their collegiate careers and before. And to go through a season like that, it took a toll. And it looks to me here in 2008 that a lot of these guys came out on the other side a lot stronger for the experience.
Well, Joey Porter said, I was used to having winning seasons and going to the postseason, and that didn't happen. 3rd and 7 now for Cutler. And he's pulled down at about the 47-yard line by Joey Porter.
And that will go down as a sack. I believe that was behind the line of scrimmage. So Joey Porter is going to add to his total. You can see he's working against Clady. No, I take it back. He's working against Daniel Graham, the tight end, and fell back to the inside when Cutler tried to escape. And Joey adds to his total. What's that, 11 and a half?
11 and a half, and that's a career high for him. High kick, Devon Best. Fair catch called for and made at about his own 9-yard line. 11:32 to play. First half, Miami 13 and Denver 7. Welcome back, everyone. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, and the rest of our CBS Sports crew here at Invesco Field at Mile High. About 11 and a half to play in the first half.
Got Ted Ginn up there all alone. Locked up one-on-one with Dre Bly.
Pennington looks this side. Camarillo at the 15-yard line and has a first down at the 20. Pushed out by Carl Pema.
Well, one thing about Chad Pennington, he will spread it around. He'll get everybody involved. But I know everybody for the Dolphins was so excited last week that Ted Ginn, they forced the ball to him. They actually intentionally tried to involve him. Of course, that happens when you throw to a guy on the first play of the game and it ends up being a 40-plus yard completion. Somehow they got to try to work him into the offense here today.
Yeah, Pennington has 4 completions, all to Camarillo. On first down, throwing this side, Camarillo again. He is met as he catches the ball just across the 25-yard line by Carl Pema.
And this is really unusual for one guy to be the go-to guy for Chad. He really does work it around. Fasano's been having a big part of what's been going on this year. Ginn's been getting his action lately. Ronnie Brown even coming out of the backfield.
There's the tight end, Anthony Fasano, 3rd year out of Notre Dame.
Came over from the Cowboys, and he's been a nice pickup.
2nd and 5 now. Quick pass on the slant. There's Ginn, and Ginn on his horse and almost broke free.
Ooh, Carl Pema got him by the ankles. Ted Ginn was about one full stride from making somebody really miserable back in the defensive backfield. Watch Pema coming in there from the right. He barely gets in on it. Ted Ginn with that ball in his hands, he's just got that second speed that most people don't have.
7 catches for 175 yards against Buffalo. Now on first down, Pennington sets up the screen. This is Brown. And Brown very close to another first down.
A well-run screen is a good-looking play. Chad does a nice job of selling this to the right when the screen is set up to the left. Justin Smiley is out in front, but most of this work being done by Ronnie Brown. But a lot of that, the kudos go to Chad Pennington. Over-dramatized his looking to the right side, and then at the last minute came back to the left and flicked it to Brown.
We asked Chad about getting up to speed in this new system in Miami. He says it's an ongoing process.
Here's the unbalanced line. You got Jake Long all the way over here at the right tight end.
In the Wildcat formation. The fake to Williams. Brown keeps it. And he is at midfield.
Pretty apparent that Denver put a lot of practice time in on the Wildcat this week because it's going nowhere so far for Miami.
Well, you mentioned it to Tony Sperano. He has made an awful lot of teams put in a lot of work on defense during the week defending against the Wildcat.
And coaches love that. They love disrupting someone else's practice schedule. There's Bob Slowick, the defensive coordinator. But they've obviously worked on it, and they worked on it well. They are closing it down. Here it is again.
On 2nd and 9. And Ronnie Brown looking to throw it. No. He gets wrapped up back at his 40.
Well, I think that's the 4th time they've been in the Wildcat, and they are way into negative yardage. Mike Shanahan, you saw that look on his face. He's going, hey, you want to run it some more? Go ahead. Boy, just great work there. DJ Williams, Jarvis Moss, both back there. And look how the diminishing returns of the Wildcat as this season has gone on.
Today it's been run 4 times for -6 yards. And Pennington now looking at 3rd and 17. Plenty of time here. Flips it out to Polite out of the backfield. And across the 45 of the Broncos, close to the 44, but that's a couple of yards shy of a first down.
You heard Greg say 3rd and 17. Unfortunately, what that means for Miami is we aren't going to convert. They are now an astonishing 0 and 23 on 3rd and 10 plus. They have not converted a 3rd and 10 plus this entire season.
So now they have to kick it away to the dangerous Eddie Royal, who is back at his own 9-yard line. Fair catch at the 7. Just under 7 minutes to play. First half. 13-7 Dolphins. And there's Champ Bailey, inactive today. Terrific cornerback.
Well, if 8 consecutive Pro Bowls qualifies you, I guess maybe so. Only Mike Haynes, who went to 9 in a row, on his way to his Hall of Fame enshrinement in Canton.
Cutler rolling, throwing. That's complete to Peyton Hillis out of the backfield with a blocker in front of him. Up the sideline, 40, 45-yard line. Huge gain for the Denver Broncos and gets them out of a hole.
I'm sorry, but fullbacks aren't supposed to be able to do that out in the open field, are they? Aren't they supposed to be lumbering guys? Here's that classic rollout, and all alone is Hillis, the fullback, the toughest guy to account for in that. And look at his ability to stay on his feet, puts the hand down, maintains his balance, and look at the well-thrown ball by Jay Cutler. Puts it right on his hands, allows him to turn upfield immediately after making the catch.
Cutler looking to throw again. Running out of time now and throws it away. Nobody over there.
Ooh, I'm not sure Jay was outside. He rolled out. That's
and
right.
There's the penalty flag.
Yeah, he wasn't outside the pocket. That's right. He came back in.
Tony Correnti says you never got out.
Offense, number 6. The ball will be placed at the spot of the pass, which is 10 yards.
Now, Jay is outside the pocket there, but then he comes back into it. Randy Starks was out there. I think Jay would probably argue that, geez, once I'm outside the pocket, I'm outside the pocket. So what if I come back into it? I've already left it once.
Tony Correnti doesn't buy, so what? 2nd and 21. And this is terrain. Not gaining much terrain on that carry. And we move up on 6 minutes to play.
And there goes Joey Porter and Casey Wigman. Face mask to face mask, 2 veteran players.
What did we talk with Joey about being an excitable young man yesterday?
You know, he just says, I am what I am. Take it or leave it. That's all. His teammates love it. Tony Sperano and the coaching staff loves it. He's the kind of a guy, he brings it, but he brings it every day, not just during the game.
Cutler throwing. That's complete at the 40 to Pittman. And Pittman across midfield to the 48 of the Dolphins.
Boy, and it's hard to put into words what Michael Pittman has meant to the Denver Broncos. This 11-year veteran, he has really solidified them in the backfield. They're a bunch of kids, but Michael Pittman has delivered. Here's Joey Porter going against Ryan Clady, the rookie against he of the 11.5 sacks. Outstanding work by Clady. Good hands, got him inside, negated Porter's rush.
Devon Best deep for the kick coming from Kern. And this one is going to bounce at the 5 and take a Broncos bounce. And will be down at about the 7-yard line. Fine kick by the rookie out of Toledo, Brett Kern. 4:54 remaining in a scoreless second quarter. Third time the Dolphins have begun inside their own 15-yard line, but they lead 13-7, and Denver looking to make a defensive stand here. Ronnie Brown to about the 8. Hey, if you haven't seen 11th Hour, well, guess what? You're missing Thursday's #1 new show from executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer. 11th Hour, Thursday after CSI, here on CBS, America's Most Watched Network. And by the way, this is Sunday. We're 2 days short of Tuesday. I know my partner Dan Deerdorf joins me in saying, get out and vote if you haven't already done so.
I thought you were going to say we're 2 days past Halloween after our walk around downtown Denver. I agree. Get out there and vote, everybody.
2nd and 8. Brown again. And Brown bulls his way close to the 15-yard line. They have 13.
Well, the Miami Dolphins, they desperately have got to try to get some running game going here. And yeah, they're a little reluctant to put it up in the air here, backed up to their goal line, but they are not getting the kind of first down production they would like to see out of this running game. But again, Tony Sperano knows that this is a work in progress. A young line, he's going to let them try to build some confidence.
Pennington looking at a 3rd and 4 and needs the 17-yard line for a first down. With time, throws, and oh, what a catch made by Devon Best. Did he catch that ball sliding on his back?
Your eyes were not lying. That's exactly what he did. Now this is unorthodox. Working against Carl Pema in the zone. He gives him the inside. That ball was low and behind Devon Best, who adjusts to it by throwing out the air brakes, going down, and makes a sliding catch. Brilliant work by the rookie.
First down and breathing room for the Dolphins now at their own 30. Pennington, play fake, throwing, and that's in and out of the hands of tight end Fasano. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, Fasano just took his eye off the ball. He knew that there was a safety on the way to make the hit. And he knows he's going to take a big shot. And he just takes his hands, and you can see he looks at DJ Williams, who's got him directly in his sights. Man, how many times do you see that? Yeah, you ended up protecting yourself from the big hit, but you dropped the ball in the process.
A couple of drop passes today. 2nd and 10. Fake to Brown. Pennington rolls and throws, and this time complete across the 40 to the 43, and Fasano pulls it in this time.
Well, and they're taking a play right out of the Denver playbook. You see Jay Cutler doing that, and you've seen every Denver quarterback do that since Mike Shanahan came here. And now all of a sudden it's the Jets and Chad Pennington who's stretching his legs, getting outside the pocket. I believe I said the Jets. Old habits hard to break. Obviously Chad and the Fish. Ooh, movement all over the place up front. But that is just a classic bootleg that Denver runs all the time, and Chad running it very well.
Encroachment, defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
Well, it looked like Pennington and the Dolphins trying to get a little upbeat in the tempo there. So it's now a 1st and 5, the ball at the Miami 48. When we come up on 2 minutes to play, this will be the last before the 2-minute warning, and that one is overthrown, and a good job by Pennington. 1:59 to play in the first half, and we'll take our 2-minute warning. It's 13-7 Dolphins. Welcome back, everyone. 1:59 to play here in the first half. 2nd and 5 for Pennington and the Dolphins. This time up the seam, and he's got his tight end Fasano inside the 30.
That has always been a throw that Chad Pennington has made with ease. That seam pattern right up the field, because it requires so much touch and feel for a passer. He dropped that beautifully right onto Fasano's hand.
No huddle, and now the give to Brown, and Brown twisting his way to the 20-yard line. And the clock continues to move. 1.5 minutes to play here in the first half, and now the Dolphins used their second timeout to stop the clock with 1:28 to play in the first half. Miami by 6. Hey, all kinds of things have been happening today. In the Sprint halftime report, JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher will have all the NFL scores and highlights for you. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. Brandon Marshall, no catches today. The fewest he's caught in a game this season, 3 against Tampa Bay.
Keep in mind, he gets thrown to more than any receiver in the league.
2nd and 2. Play fake to Brown. Pennington with lots of time and throws complete And out of the backfield, it's Brown, and he's spun down at about the 18, and the clock continues to tick.
Boy, give a lot of credit to the Denver secondary. Chad Pennington held on to that football for over 6 seconds and couldn't find anything to do except dump it off.
Now from the 18-yard line. Pennington on the move, throws, and that's complete to Ted Ginn. And Ginn to about the 5.
That's why Miami has really got to work to get the ball to Ted Ginn. You can just see it every time he touches the ball. When he explodes and makes a move downfield, it's just at a different speed than everybody else.
From the shotgun, Brown. And Brown down at the 5. Loose ball. Is he whistled down?
I didn't hear a whistle, but that doesn't mean
No, Tony Corretti says it's Denver ball.
Keep in mind, there's no coach's challenge here. We're inside 2 minutes. It's up to the booth upstairs to review this, which you know they certainly will.
You talk about a momentum changer just before halftime. Let's take a look.
Well, Ronnie Brown gets tied up, and he's going to fight for extra yardage.
We'll go under review.
Yeah, we see the ball out, but from that angle, it's hard to ascertain. Let's take a good look at. Here comes Ronnie Brown from the left. Does he? There's the knee, and he still has the football. Ronnie Brown looks to me like he's down.
And I think Miami will have the football when we come back. Well, Tony Corretti is under the hood taking a look, and if he sees what we just saw.
Again, there on the left side of your screen, Ronnie Brown is, let's watch his left knee. He still has possession of the ball. There's the left knee on the ground. He still has possession of that football. And it doesn't come out until most of his body is already on the turf.
And you know what, Dan? The Denver defense has gone back onto the football field.
Well, I think the word came down from the coaches' boxes that, hey, there's no way this isn't going to be overturned. You're going to retain possession. And right now, Ronnie Brown has to be in the midst of a huge sigh of relief.
So you get the feeling Tony Corretti is about to dispense some news that is not going to please the faithful here in Denver.
And the other thing they have to do is spot the ball at the correct yard mark.
After reviewing the play, the Miami runner was down by contact. It will be Miami's ball, second down at the 5.5-yard line.
So instead of the ball going over to the Denver Broncos, we are looking at the 12th play of a drive that has already taken up 88 yards.
So just keep in mind that doesn't count as one of Miami's challenges. That was, again, a reminder done by the replay booth upstairs here.
Automatic in the last 2 minutes. Clock is moving, 20 seconds to play. Miami with 1 timeout remaining. This is a 2nd and goal. Pennington throwing for the corner of the end zone. It is pulled down by Brandon London, but out of bounds. "12 seconds on the clock. Tony Sperano figuring out what to do and how to do it. Miami with time to run a play and still stop the clock with its remaining timeout. And now Denver uses one of its 3 timeouts remaining. So they have 2 left. Miami has 1. Just a reminder, right around the corner, JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cower sitting by in the studio for the Sprint halftime report. That's coming up next. And Tony Corretti is going back under the hood.
Well, he wants to take a look, I guess, at that last play, the pass to Brandon London.
Brandon London was signaling touchdown, but that's not unusual. This is London
review
coming
is
right
to
at you.
determine whether the receiver was inbounds or out of bounds upon catching the ball.
Left foot down, right knee out.
Looked to me like the left foot is in, but he didn't come close to getting the second foot down. Not even remotely close.
Unless Brandon is thinking that the out of bounds marker is the end of the white chalk. No, he wasn't close.
This would have been a touchdown in college, but not in the NFL.
Yeah, Brandon, if you were back at UMass, you're in the money. A little honesty in officiating. If Tony Correnti went, not a chance.
What did I come over for that?
There is no timeout charged to Denver due to the review from the booth. After review, the receiver was out of bounds. It is an incomplete pass. Third down.
Brandon, somebody's got to take you aside and talk to you about that 2 feet in deal. It was a heck of an effort on his part.
It was.
Give him an A+ for that. But I don't know what he was thinking, that he somehow got something in bounds with the second foot.
So 3rd and goal now for Pennington and the Dolphins. Remember, they can run the football and stop the clock with a timeout. Pennington from the shotgun, looking, corner of the end zone, overthrows Fasano.
Well, he had no choice but to do that, Greg, because Fasano was totally covered. Calvin Lowry all over him. Again, give some credit to this Denver secondary. They locked things down here. Calvin Lowry did a good job, and he realized at that point in time there's no chance. There's no field left for Fasano, and that's just a throwaway by Chad.
So Dan Carpenter, who has been good from 45 and 47, will try this one from 24 yards out with 7 seconds to play here in the first half. Snap is good, and so's the kick. And with 2 seconds to play here in the first half, Miami stretches its lead to 16-7. Dan Marino, Shannon Sharp, Coach Bill Cowher, Boomer Esiason standing by with JB in our studios in New York for the Sprint halftime report.
How about if we go back to September 29th, 1985, the first meeting between Dan Marino, John Elway. Elway struggled early, got sacked 3 times, threw an interception, then Dan threw 3 touchdowns to Nat Moore, to Joe Rose, and to Vince Heflin. And that was en route to a Dolphins win by the score of 30-26. So how about that? 2 future Hall of Famers, 1985, 23 years ago.
Just like to go on record, Dan is all the way back in New York, but he made us roll that.
That was a command performance. Well, the one thing about it, I think most NFL fans realized how special it was at the time watching those 2 play. If you knew anything about the game, you knew you were watching a couple of guys that don't come down the road very often.
Eddie Royal and Andre Hall deep for the kick. This is Andre Hall to the 25, and time expires as he goes down at the 31-yard line. We have come to the end of the first half with the score Miami 16, Denver 7. The Sprint halftime report comes your way after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back at Invesco Field at Mile High, there's our halftime score. Miami leading Denver 16-7. Welcome back to Denver, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Dan Deerdorf. Usually people are pointing the finger at the Denver defense. The offense has sputtered so far today.
No, point a finger at the Miami defense because they're the unit that's really playing good football here in the first. They're really controlling Denver.
Yeah, the first half was pretty much dominated by these Miami Dolphins, and they lead it by a score of 16-7. And a reminder, this game comes your way in high definition here on CBS. The Miami Dolphins, you remember, won the toss, deferred and we'll get the ball here in the second half to start things off. Ted Yin Jr. from the 1 to the 20, 30, across the 40, and a terrific return to start the second half for the Miami Dolphins on top of a pretty good first half, Dan.
Well, we talked about pointing the finger at the Miami defense because they got this game started. First of all, it's an interception by Jason Allen, then Will Allen. His interception ends up being a touchdown. Now, Eddie Royal, he got things started for Denver with a 95-yard kickoff return, and he finished it off with a touchdown reception from Jay Cutler. But the Miami defense, they have been outstanding. They own the line of scrimmage. They have held the Denver running game to 5 yards rushing in the first half.
Now on first down from the 41-yard line, terrific field position to start, and Pennington comes out throwing over the middle, almost intercepted by the Broncos' Dre Bly. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I don't know if it's the thin air or whatever, but another ball from Chad Pennington floats on him. He's got Camarillo open. He gets inside on the slant, but the ball is high and away. And Dre Bly has a better chance at this, but it looked like Camarillo just deflected it a little bit.
Was that a hanging Chad, Dan?
That ball did hang
on Chad.
This close to Election Day. That's pretty clever on
pretty
your part.
Sick,
right?
wasn't it? 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Here comes Ricky Williams trying to find running room around the right side and stumbles forward to the 45-yard line. Nate Webster made the stop. But look at Chad Pennington's first half numbers.
Well, 13 of 21. That's below his normal accuracy, his percentage. But no turnovers. That's the key. He did not turn it over. Nothing spectacular. A couple times he's tried to go deep, and the ball has sailed on him. We are here at elevation. I don't know. I wouldn't suspect that has much to do with it, but he's been pretty effective in the first half. But again, I think the story's the Miami defense.
3rd and 6. Pennington over the middle, incomplete. Fasano, the intended receiver, and it will kick.
Jamie Winborn was locked up on Fasano, and he got in there and disrupted that. This is where a tight end does his business. Winborn right there, played it perfectly, held his ground. Fasano ran into him, and he was able to react, get his arm out in front, and knock it away.
So Eddie Royal to receive the kick. And a booming kick is going to sail out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
We have seen the punters doing some good work here today.
Fine job by Brandon Fields. This Denver crowd looking for things out of Jay Cutler and this Denver offense. This is an offense that averaged 389 yards a game coming in. They had less than 100 yards total in the first half, Dan.
Well, they can't get anything going on the ground. More than most. This is an offense based on production on the ground. 5 yards a half is really handcuffing this offense.
Cutler to Terrain, or to Peyton Hillis out of the backfield, and he vaults a potential tackler and has a first down out across the 10 to the 14-yard line.
Edwin Moses here coming out of the backfield. How about this? He goes right over Jeremiah Bell, number 37. Peyton Hillis, a rookie fullback. How about that? Oh, Eddie Royal got poked right in the eye by Will Allen. Will Allen stuck out a hand to get a check on Royal and went right through the face mask. Looked like right into Eddie Royal's eye.
And Royal being looked at now at the 15-yard line. We'll take a timeout here with 13:36 to play in the third quarter. A couple of minutes into the second half, who would have thought the outstanding offensive performer for the Denver Broncos would be Peyton Hillis, who has 61 total yards. The rest of the Broncos have totaled 49, and Eddie Royal coming off the field after that poke in the eye will watch this play from the sideline. Darrell Jackson in to replace him. And here's Pittman. And Pittman going nowhere, courtesy of Joey Porter. You know, Dan and I had a bet. I win. I knew JB was around somewhere today. James?
Greg, JB, we miss you.
On 2nd and 13. Cutler. Far side. And that's complete just across the 20-yard line to Eddie Royal. You know, give him an inch, you take a yard. Back to JB in New York.
Only politely so, Greg, as we take a look at how the Eagles move out and break the tie. Donovan McNabb on a tackle-eligible play, hooking up a tie. Harriman's 14-7 Eagles. Hey, Greg, my daughter says I know nothing about music. I know you are a Rolling Stones expert. I'll talk to you shortly.
If I'd been ugly and skinny, JB. Yeah. Coming up on 12 minutes to play here in the third quarter. 3rd and 2 now for the Broncos. Cutler for Hillis. Hillis has the first down. Channing Crowder ran him out of bounds, but Peyton Hillis, number 22, the 7th-round pick out of Arkansas, is making his presence felt.
Take a look at that. Less than 100 yards in offense for the Broncos in the first half. And you know that Tony Sperano and Paul Pasqualoni, the defensive coordinator, their first goal, take away the running game. Second goal, take away Brandon Marshall. How effective have they been so far in this game? Denver can't run the ball, and Brandon Marshall is MIA.
On first down, Cutler under pressure throws and has his man across the 40, across the 45, and to midfield is Daniel Graham, the tight end. And what a bullet thrown by Cutler.
Now I'll say this about Jay Cutler and the offense. They're working other people into it. We've seen Peyton Hillis becoming a part of it. And then on the ball thrown way behind him, Daniel Graham makes a very nice adjustment. That ball was well behind him. He had to feather it down, turn, and then come back to get it. But a lot of people who aren't the biggest part of this Denver offense are having to do so now.
That pass distribution does not include Brandon Marshall. Cutler eludes a sack, throws it over the middle, tipped and falls incomplete. Matt Roth got a hand on it.
And that was Joey Porter. But that's something we've always known about Jay Cutler. He can move. He's downright fast, and he's quick as well. He senses Joey Porter, bought himself a little extra time, and we see the ball get tipped right there at the line of scrimmage. Who is it that gets it? Matt Roth gets up and gets it. Great job of elevating by the former defensive end, moved to outside linebacker.
So Michael Pittman in the backfield now. Flip out to this side, and decked at the 45-yard line is Eddie Royal, courtesy of Andre Goodman. Loss of 2 will make it 3rd and 12.
They put the pressure on with the blitz from Bell, and then to compensate for the blitzer coming from that side, Goodman rolls up. He knows he's got the flat, and he doesn't give Eddie Royal a chance to turn upfield. Textbook defense by the Dolphins.
Meanwhile, you sit here and you wonder just when will Brandon Marshall get into this game for the Denver Broncos. 3rd and 11. Cutler, the slant, and he hits his man Royal. And that's a first down at the Miami 40.
Boy, Andre Goodman went right over the top of Eddie Royal trying to make a play on that ball. And this is where having a little velocity on the football is a big help, because Goodman has good coverage, but that ball is smoking on its way into Eddie Royal. That's where having a cannon for an arm comes into play with a completion.
Just under 9.5 minutes to play in the third. The Broncos offense on the move here, and this is Pittman trying the right side, and he got maybe a yard, maybe 2. We'll see.
It has been a long time since a team has just snuffed the Denver running game like Miami is doing it to them right now.
There is Brandon Marshall, who came into this game with 49 catches for 598 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he hasn't had a sniff. 2nd and 8. Cutler will throw it. Almost picked off by Jeremiah Bell.
That was on the proverbial silver platter. As you often see, floating underneath, out of the view of the quarterback, that was a touchdown waiting to happen.
That's an early Christmas, Dan.
Yes, sir. That was a touchdown handed to Jeremiah Bell, and he couldn't bring it in.
3 for 9 on third down for the Broncos, and it's been third and fairly decent yardage.
That was similar to the play that Will Allen got and returned it for a touchdown against Jay Cutler. That almost happened twice.
Rather than a 5-yard penalty, the Broncos burn a timeout here. There's a guy who is as big a story for those numbers as any in this game, and that's Brandon Marshall. On 3rd and 8, he's still looking for his first catch of the day. Cutler throwing near side of the field, and that's Stokely, and he's knocked out of bounds just inside the 35 to the 32. Last offensive play before the timeout, Dan.
Well, he was split to the left, and Jay Cutler went to the right and completed it on the other side. Now, he's totally covered, but he was never looked at, I guess, and you see right there expressing a little frustration over to the Denver bench. But just take that completion to Stokely. The reason Stokely was open, because Marshall was in the slot to his inside, they doubled him and gave Stokely the cushion.
Matt Prater is 4 for 4 from 50 or more yards this season. This is a 50-yarder on the way. Plenty of leg and right down the middle. That's a Broncos single-season record that he ties. 5 50-yard or more field goals, 16-10, Miami. 8 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the third, and there is Matt Prater. As we said earlier, he ties the team single-season record. He has kicked from 50 or more yards. He has a 50, a 51, 52, 55, and 56-yarder this year. And look at that leg, all the way out of the end zone. And the Dolphins will start from their own 20. Gives us a moment to remind you, tomorrow here on CBS, Olympia Dukakis pays a visit to TV's #1 new comedy, Worst Week, after 2.5 Men here on CBS, America's most watched network.
Greg, you were talking about Prater. I bet you he ends up owning the NFL record for the longest field goals before he's finished. It's 63 yards. He'll end up with something 65 or better.
With games like this, Mike Shanahan's going to give him the chance. First down for Pennington and the Dolphins, and Ronnie Brown around the left side, still on his feet and very close to a first down.
Man, what a different game it is when you can do that on first down. When you can just take a simple handoff and execute a running play like that. Good blocking off here to the left side. He gets a good block from his fullback. Outstanding blocking by David Martin and Jake Long over there on the left side.
Well, look at all of the Miami offensive linemen down there.
Yep. David Martin, he did a nice job. Started with a double with Long, came off, picked up a secondary block at the second level.
Miami winning the battle of total yardage so far. The pitch to Brown, left side again, and not so good this time. Racked up at the 27-yard line by Nate Webster.
Boy, did Webster deliver a pop. Whoa. This is what you want from your middle linebacker. Watch him break and go straight upfield and go right in with the face mask, right in the chest.
And now the Denver crowd coming alive as the Broncos defense looks to stop Miami here on 3rd and 3. Pennington looking, throwing far side, and that's complete to Ted Ginn Jr. out of bounds for the first down just short of the 40-yard line.
Oh, and Dre Bly had an awful lot of respect for Ted Ginn's speed, and he gave him a big cushion. Watch Ted Ginn. He's going to sell the fly pattern down the field right there. That last little stutter just took Dre Bly. He was 5 yards downfield. A pretty easy pitch and catch for a first down for the Fish.
Now from the 39, Ricky Williams in the backfield. And Williams gets the handoff and try the near side, cutting back across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. You and I were talking during the timeout, Dan. Miami is allowing Denver to hang around. They're kicking field goals, but Miami, what they've done very well so far, they haven't turned the ball over. They haven't committed a penalty.
Well, and that was Tony Sparano from day one. He said, you know, we had to change the entire culture here. When you're 1-15, there are bad habits. And he just said we're not good enough to win when we turn the ball over. That's why they came into this game at +7. That's an awfully good number, turnover differential, to be +7. And of course now they're up to +9.
On 2nd and 8, the throw to the far side, and on the button, Ted Ginn should have held on to that one, and he dropped it.
Well, you can't deliver a catchable ball any better than Chad just did right there. He's looking for Ginn all the way, working the left side. That's a pretty nice tight spiral. And he just puts it in a perfect position. But Ted Ginn, too late getting his hands out. He made the break in his pattern, and he kept his hands back inside. And by the time he extended him, the ball was on him.
That's 4 drops by Miami receivers by our count today. 3rd and 8. The Dolphins do not excel at these numbers. Pennington going to go deep and overthrow everybody.
Well, it wouldn't have come to that if Ted Ginn would have caught that pass. It would have moved the chains. A fairly successful drive in that they moved themselves out and got a first down, moved the chains, but they could have had more.
Pennington won for his last 7 throwing the football. And now,
watch out,
Brandon Fields off the side of his foot. He's been kicking the ball well today, not that time.
Well, I think he was trying hard to keep it away from Eddie Royal.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
That was horrible. Roethlisberger will go head-to-head in doubleheader game. Check your local listings. It all begins with the NFL today. Cutler throwing, incomplete at the Miami 45, intended for Royal.
I mean, this game has 20 minutes of football to go in regulation, but if you're a Miami fan, you just have to be thrilled with the way this team is now competing. Who would think, watching this game, that this was a team that a year ago was 1-15, 0-13 at one point in time, pretty much a laughingstock. Tony Sparano, Bill Parcells, they have got this thing turned around in a hurry.
2nd down, pass out to this side to Hillis, and he lost the ball. It's ruled incomplete.
Luckily for Hillis.
Meanwhile, Brandon Marshall way down the far side. Did Marshall trash Jay Cutler's locker before the game or something?
Yeah, because normally Cutler, if anything, forces the ball to Brandon Marshall. There's some times that he throws into coverage in an attempt to get it to Marshall. Here's the last play. Again, Will Allen up with press coverage all over Marshall. And let me tell you something, that's just tremendous coverage by Will Allen. That's what you have to do to a big receiver. Get up on him, try to disrupt his release from the line.
Cutler looking, throwing. Royal made the catch. What a terrific catch by Royal, and it's a first down for the Denver Broncos.
What a find for the Denver Broncos, Eddie Royal. 2nd round from Virginia Tech, and look how smart he is using his hands. He actually, let's see, does he actually move Andre Goodman out of the way? That little bit. Look how he finds himself a little room. Tell me that looks like a rookie.
5 catches for 42 yards. And this is Pittman to about the 33.5. Clock continues to move. 4:20 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Miami by 6. Pittman, 7 carries, 4 yards.
So uncharacteristic for Denver, averaging 118 yards a game. Yep. 5. Well, credit the guys in the white shirts and the aqua pants. They are stuffing the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 8. Cutler throwing far side, and that's complete to number 81, Nate Jackson, the tight end. It'll be 3rd and 6.
So much of the offense of the Denver Broncos is based off of play action, based off of the bootlegs, where Cutler, John Elway before him came out to that backside, but those are all off of the actions of running the football successfully. And when you're not running the ball, those are just meaningless.
Action doesn't work.
No, they're just meaningless gestures.
Cutler now from the shotgun on 3rd and 6. Little pump fake, throwing down the sideline and just overthrew Royal. And Brandon Marshall just walking dejectedly off the field on this side of the stadium.
And give credit to Miami. It's the coverage. This time it's Jason Allen, but look how he's on Eddie Royal. He forces Jay Cutler to put the ball up in the air on the other side of the field. Here's Brandon Marshall. He's locked up by Andre Goodman, but he wasn't a factor in the play. That was going to Eddie Royal the whole time. But give credit to Jason Allen. He had outstanding coverage.
This is Prater from 49 yards out. Kick on the way, and did he get it? No, he missed it. Just missed it to the left. And with 2:59 to play in the third, Miami holds on to its 6-point lead.
Well, he pulled it just a little. If this was a drive off the first tee, it wouldn't be in the woods, but it'd be in the rough on the left-hand side. Just off the fairway.
What?
And in football, you get no points for being off the fairway.
Chad Pennington happy to go back to work with a 6-point lead. And pretty good field position at his own 39. Let's see how the Dolphins go about business here. Ricky Williams straight ahead. Stuck at the 40-yard line.
Marcus Thomas. Good job getting underneath there and stuffing that one. Yep. Keep going. Keep going. Yes. The guy's got some passion.
I never knew a coach could wave a ball just to the left of the upright. Now on 2nd and 8, Pennington, quick crop, quick pass, Camarillo, and then Camarillo looking for additional yardage and is out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. Let's see if he has enough for the first down. He does.
See, there's a little bit of the Champ Bailey effect, because I have a hard time envisioning Greg Camarillo running that pattern in front of Champ Bailey. There's Bailey on the sideline with a pulled groin, and he knows it too. He said there's no way Camarillo can run that pattern on me, and Pennington with his arm strength throw that ball at me.
Camarillo ties his career high, 6 catches, 54 yards on the day, and a first down for Miami at midfield. Pennington to throw again, down the far side, near sideline, and it's intercepted. Carl Pema picks it off and brings it back.
Well, Pema filling in for Champ Bailey after giving up a completion on the play before, gets the overthrow by Pennington.
Only Pennington's 4th interception of the year.
And you see Chad talking to Ted Ginn about the pattern. Chad's looking to the right, and he was expecting Ted Ginn to break to the inside, and Ginn doesn't fight through it, and he continues up the sideline. And that was a heck of a catch by Carl Pema. Take a look at that. He just snags the back half of the football.
Once again, Pema filling in for the injured Champ Bailey, and now from the 29, Cutler throwing over the middle. Penalty marker flies as the ball falls incomplete. Looks like a hold on Denver.
Holding. Offense, number 50. 10-yard
That's
penalty.
left guard Ben Hamilton.
Repeat first down.
The Broncos don't get many picks, do they?
No, only their 3rd of the season. And considering that Champ Bailey had one of them, and the other one was by Marcus Thomas, the defensive tackle. But that was a heck of a play by Carl Pema. He denied Ted Ginn getting to the inside where he wanted to go, and on the heels of doing that, he made an absolutely fantastic catch.
So now 1st and 20. Denver penalized 5 times for 36 yards. Cutler to throw again. On the near side, Jackson. Another penalty marker flies as Jackson is pulled down at the 27. And this is going to go against Denver again, it would appear.
What I don't get about Brandon Marshall, he's so good with yards after the catch. Run a hitch. Run a quick screen.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, offense, the left guard. This penalty, if it says half the distance for the goal.
That's Ben Hamilton again.
Well, there's Ben Hamilton, number 50, working against Vonnie Holiday. Oh, yeah. He's got Holiday's face mask. Oh, and he hangs on. He had it, and then he kept it for a while. So a holding on one play and a face mask on the next play.
Mike Shanahan sees a problem here. His team is headed in the wrong direction. They're backed up now to their own 9-yard line, 1st and 30. Quick pass, and that one is complete across the 20 to the 23. Brandon Marshall, his first catch of the day.
Well, what do you know? Brandon Marshall finally gets in on it. Just a quick slant to the inside. Keep that up. Shorten the patterns, do whatever you have to do. But this is a guy that can break tackles. This guy, he might be the best receiver in football along with Steve Smith with yards after the catch. He makes people miss. 2nd and 16 now, Cutler. And Cutler going to go deep down the far sideline. It is caught, and there goes Marshall. We have a penalty marker down. A marker is down on the far side of the field. Tony Sperano says this is going back. 2 of them, one at the 50, one at the 45. Are they going to call offensive interference?
Pass interference, offense, number 15. This penalty, if it says half the distance to the goal, 10 yards, 2nd down.
Bring it back.
Working against Jason Allen. All right, here everything is fine.
Little nudge right there.
Well, there was some touching, but it looked to me like Allen sold it. Oh, let me tell you, that's... boy, that's pretty lame if you ask me. That is not much in the way of offensive interference.
You know what it did, Dan? It did create a little space between Marshall and Allen.
And I think Allen did a good job of selling it.
It's 2nd and 25. Cutler eludes one tackler, gets dragged down at the 15 by Vonnie Holiday. Let's take another look.
Yeah, why not? Certainly there's contact, okay? Is it meaningful? I mean, does he really push Jason Allen back? Allen reacts to pushing it away with his arm. Boy, everybody here feels just like Mike.
Are you smart enough to live here? Action 3 News, Monday at 10.
Well, here's how we went into the break before the 4th quarter. Joey Porter expressing his condolences to Brandon Marshall. And then Jay Cutler, think he's upset? That's what he did on his way over to the Denver bench.
It's a frustrated Denver team as we start the 4th quarter from the 15-yard line, 3rd and 24. Play clock down to 3, 2, 1. He got it off. Cutler looking, throwing, far sideline. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Tyrone Culver.
Mike Shanahan is about to pop. Jay Cutler did a good job of buying some extra time. It's only a 3-man rush. He lets the 2 ends go behind him, finds himself an opening, and I don't know how he did not see Tyrone Culver, the safety, in a position to come in front of Brandon Stokely and make a pretty easy play.
Good footwork on the far sideline. And now here's Pennington from the shotgun to give to Brown, and he slips down at the 46-yard line. Now, as if Jay Cutler isn't frustrated enough, Joey Porter is going to add a little insult to injury.
And Jay, I know you've been in this league for 3 years, but you're hearing it from a world-class trash talker in Joey Porter.
That's the third interception of Cutler today. That is a career high for him in a game. On 2nd and 12, Pennington going to throw up the seam, and he's got Camarillo inside the 25.
Again, where you need some touch, Chad Pennington on this seam pattern drops in a perfect pass to Greg Camarillo. He gets behind Pema, but in front of Dre Bly, and Chad just delivers a beautiful pass. And Greg Camarillo is lighting it up.
7 catches, 77 yards on the day. 23 yards on that game. First down at the Denver 22. Pennington gives to Ronnie Brown, and Brown is going nowhere on this one. If you're the Dolphins, you've got to start saying to yourself, you got to turn some of these opportunities into touchdowns rather than field goals.
There's been too many of those. And you talked about the frustration. Miami here has a 2-turnover advantage over the Broncos, and yet they only have a 6-point lead at this point.
2nd and 11. Brown backed about to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard short of that. Jamie Winborn, who has played big in place of Boss Bailey today. 3rd and 11.
You see Ronnie Brown there, 18 carries. That's a lot of work. 60 yards. You notice the Wildcat, which was completely snuffed by Denver. We haven't seen it in quite a while.
And if there has been an Achilles heel for this Miami team this season, it's 3rd and long. Pennington throws and threw it short. Got pressure as he turned in the backfield and threw it short. Dre Bly was coming in, and that'll bring on the field goal unit.
Now, when you don't have a rocket, that's where it shows up. You know, under pressure, falling backwards, there's a limit to how much mustard Chad could get on that pass. But this makes it a 2-score football game if Miami can convert here.
Dan Carpenter from 40 yards out, looking for his 4th of the day. And that looks pretty good. He's good from 45, 47, 23, and now 40. And just under 12 minutes to play in the 4th, Miami stretches its lead to 19-10. Opponents have been taking big-time advantage of Denver turnovers these last 5 games.
That's including today. That's a pretty incredible number.
Eddie Royal deep for the kick. And this one will sail into the nether regions of the end zone and will not be returned. 11:58 to play in the 4th quarter. Cutler back on the field. 11:58 to play in the 4th. Miami leading Denver 19-10, and the Broncos about to try to resurrect their offense from their own 20-yard line. Cutler 17 of 32. A touchdown, but 3 picks, 6 in his last 3 games. And Andre Hall is in the backfield for Denver. Cutler lofting it. Oh, what a catch by Peyton Hillis. Hillis down the sideline, inside the 35 to about the 30.
Well, how about this rookie fullback making an impression? But what about the quality of that pass from Jay Cutler? Two Dolphins defenders underneath, the only option to feather it over the top, and he drops it right into the hands of Peyton Hillis, who didn't have to hurdle anybody that time, but took it upfield. What a pass from Cutler.
47-yard pickup, and the line of scrimmage now is the Miami 33. On first down, Cutler, far side of the field, and it's batted down. Andre Goodman making the play. Brandon Marshall, the intended receiver.
We have seen just outstanding play by the members of the Dolphins secondary in this game. And here's another good look at it right here. Andre Goodman, look at him react, make a burst to the ball, get back in, and knock it away.
Dan, if he doesn't have his eye on the quarterback and on the pass, he has no chance of making that play.
Absolutely none. And we have seen very few open Denver receivers this entire game. Jay Cutler's had to work for every single completion.
2nd and 10, Cutler to throw again. Running out of time, throwing for the end zone. It is incomplete, and the flag is thrown. Marshall, the intended receiver.
And you can see the frustration and the emotion coming out of Brandon Marshall. It has been one hard game for him to this point.
Pass interference, defense, automatic push down.
The first Miami penalty of the day is going to give Denver the ball at the Miami 1.
Well, right down the middle, you can see the bump coming in from behind by Ronaldo Hill. And that's the one that draws the flag. Right there, Ronaldo Hill makes contact. Jeremiah Bell coming in late, but it was Ronaldo Hill who got flagged.
Hillis and Terrain in the backfield. Cutler going to throw for it. And flips it out here. Touchdown, Hillis. The Denver Broncos go 80 yards in 3 plays, and it's just 48 seconds off the clock. How about the day Peyton Hillis is having?
Well, what a beautiful piece of play action here. Fake by Jay Cutler, and almost impossible to defend. When the quarterback can move as much as Cutler can, the fullback floats out underneath, uncovered.
Hillis' first NFL touchdown. Prater's kick is good. 11-10 to play in the 4th quarter, and looky here. The Miami Dolphins lead is down to 2 at 19-17. We were told in the last few minutes before kickoff that Peyton Hillis would be starting at fullback for the Denver Broncos, and what a decision by Mike Shanahan. 7 catches, 116 yards, and his first NFL touchdown. And look at this booming kick. Again, will not run this out of the end zone. 11-10 to play here in the 4th quarter. Chad Pennington back to work with just a 2-point lead. Vesco Field at Mile High, which was so dead at times in the 2nd and 3rd quarter, is absolutely electric here in the 4th. Pennington throwing far side of the field, and that's Camarillo, and Camarillo is ridden down at about the 25. A pickup of 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5.
When you were 1-15 a year ago, and you are trying to learn how to win, this is a learning experience. On the road in this environment, can you execute?
Man, this is a term paper. Pennington this side, and once again Camarillo out of bounds at the 33, and a big first down for Miami.
And what has Chad Pennington meant to the Miami Dolphins? This is what he means. The calmness, the leadership, the guy that has been there in these kind of experiences before, the calming influence he has on the huddle, it's really hard to measure.
18 of 32 for 208.
Brett Favre was the best thing to ever happen to Miami.
Pennington, far side of the field, and that one is complete, and Camarillo is just having a ball today.
I think he just got a giant attaboy from Tony Sperano. And working against Carl Pema again there. Pema giving him a cushion, even though Camarillo is not exactly known as Carl Lewis. He's not a Blazer.
2nd and 2. This is Ricky Williams, and Williams almost squeezed through a hole. He had enough for a first down out to the 45.
What Denver really wanted there was a 3 and out, and they are not getting it. As Chad is moving the Dolphins now coming up towards midfield. But how smooth and calm they look right now. This is sometimes where a losing team goes, well, that's what we do. Here it comes again. This team has been rejuvenated.
Play fake. Pennington throwing, incomplete. Patrick Cobb, the closest to the ball. Jamie Winborn was covering him.
I'm not sure that anybody saw that duo being the leading receivers, respectively, for their teams. Peyton Hillis and Greg Camarillo certainly would have thought it'd be Brandon Marshall for Denver, and after last week, Ted Ginn for Miami.
2nd and 10. Pennington, far side of the field, and that is complete, and stretching for the first down is Devon Bess. And Miami is now into Denver territory at the Broncos 45.
And the chains
keep moving.
Are moving. And Chad Pennington is delivering. And that time under a lot of pressure.
And you know, Dan, just when you think they might try to run the ball, take time off the clock, they are taking time off the clock, but Pennington's throwing it left, right, up, and down.
Well, he came into this game leading the National Football League in completion percentage.
On first down, this is Ricky Williams, and Williams spun down at about the 42.5 by Dwayne Robertson and DJ Williams.
I want to correct myself. I said he came in leading in completion percentage. He's actually second. Kurt Warner was leading at the beginning of the day by about a percentage of a fraction of a percentage point. So it's nice to have an accurate quarterback, because it does keep that clock running if you're protecting a lead.
2nd and 9 as we come up on 7 minutes to play. Play fake to Williams. Pennington with time. Now running out of time. Markers thrown. And Pennington goes down.
They might get Jake Long for holding.
That it is.
He really did a good job of running his guy by the quarterback.
Holding, offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Jake did a good job of running Doomerville. Watch this. He runs him past Pennington, but Doomerville doesn't quit. Doomerville wants to come back in on it, and right there, Jake kept the left hand on Doomerville too long. Doomerville still fighting, hustling to get back inside, and there's the hold right there. No doubt about it.
You told Jake it would be the strangest matchup he has experienced in his football career.
Well, it's just not every day you try to block a defensive end who's only 5'10".
2nd and 19. Pennington throws, and that's caught by Ginn, and he's out of bounds. No, incomplete. He is out of bounds. Let's check in with James Brown in New York City. JB.
To Greg and Dan.
Thanks, JB. Since we're looking at ex-Jet quarterbacks, Brooks Bollinger.
Well, Lord knows there's enough of them out there.
3rd and 19. Pennington and the Dolphins need the Denver 35 for a first down. The blitz, the screen, it's complete to Ronnie Brown. Brown on his feet and gets to the first down marker.
That play looked dead from the very beginning as Jamie Winborn came unblocked right up the middle, and DJ Williams, it looks like, is down. But look at Winborn, 51. Ronnie Brown lets him go, but with that blitz, let me tell you something. What a block. How about that? Watch Ronnie Brown. Let's get it set up. Samson Sattelli comes in and buries a Bronco. But a screen, the perfect call against the blitz. The blitzers are upfield, they're out of the way, and a screen can go for big yardage.
That's Marlon McCree being helped off the field, and number 55, DJ Williams, being looked at, and the Denver Bronco, who was steamrolled there by Sattelli, was Josh Bell.
And steamrolled is a pretty accurate word.
If this isn't a first down, it's really close. It's really close. So what does Tony Sperano do? On 4th and 1, he's going for it.
And this is what a young football team loves out of their head coach. Show some faith in us.
Miami 4 out of 6 on 4th down attempts this season. This is the 10th play of a drive that has taken almost 5 minutes off the clock.
And let's face it, this isn't the steel curtain they're going against. That weighs into the decision as well. And plus, it would be a 50-plus yard field goal.
Ronnie Brown and Lou Polite are in the backfield. Brown is the deep back. Polite looks like he has the first down. First back through.
Taking a look at where the line judge has his foot. That's going to be good enough for the first down. Nate Webster, the middle linebacker for Denver, is having a cow on the spot.
That is Lou Polite's 2nd carry of the season. He had 1 carry for 3 yards, and the Dolphins said, we need you on this one. 5:52 to play here in the 4th, and a most important measurement right here. First down.
I mentioned how much the guys in the huddle appreciate the head coach expressing his confidence in them, and they responded by getting the surge.
I asked Tony Sperano yesterday, Dan, I said, are you a gambler? He said, yeah, I kind of am.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that he's a lot of different things, almost all of them positive for the Dolphins.
Brown and Ricky Williams in the backfield. Pennington going to throw on first down, far side of the field, and that is caught by Greg Camarillo.
And how about some major kudos to Dan Henning, who's calling this game. Who would ever think on first down in this situation with a little over 5 minutes left to go and you're protecting a lead that he's going to throw the ball on first down? Camarillo gets Pema turned, sells him on the deep route. What a great call by Dan Henning on first down. 99% of the time, that would be a running play.
Camarillo, 11 catches, 111 yards. First down at the Denver 22. The pitch for Brown, trying to turn the corner, and nothing there. He's down at the 25-yard line. Number 32, Dre Bly, closing in along with Ebenezer Ekuban. It'll be 2nd and 13. Clock continues to move. 4:25 to play in the fourth. A field goal here would force the Broncos to go for a touchdown.
Yeah, how long did their last drive take? What was it, 3 plays?
3 plays.
Yeah.
80 yards in 3 plays. There's the timeout situation. Ricky Williams in motion to the top of your screen. Here comes the blitz. Pennington flips it. It is incomplete at the 10-yard line. Pass intended for Fasano, and Pennington threw that one into a little traffic.
Well, Fasano breaks up a sure interception. Calvin Lowry has this ball so easily. It is coming right to him. Look at that. And Fasano got the hand on it. That looked like an interception the whole way. I don't know how Fasano elevated and got a hand on that ball. Calvin Lowry was looking at the end zone. Great job by Anthony Fasano.
14th play of this 7+ minute drive. 3rd and 13. Pennington throwing. Inside the 5-yard line to Ricky Williams. And a 1st and goal.
They got the matchup they wanted. Ricky Williams on Lewis Green, the linebacker, and Green doesn't know where the football is. He's running with Ricky Williams, never turns around, never had any idea where the football was. Ricky Williams plays it all the way, and Chad Pennington, with tremendous pressure right in his face, threw a strike. Chad has no idea that he completed that pass.
Ronnie Brown and Polite in the backfield on 1st and goal. This is Brown. Touchdown! How about that drive? "15 plays, 80 yards, 8 minutes and 2 seconds off the clock."
In one of the noisiest environments in the National Football League, in front of one of the most savvy crowds, I would say that drive for Miami was pretty sweet.
This is a pretty important extra point here. Without it, Denver can tie with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Carpenter's kick is perfect. 3:08 to play in the fourth. Miami leads at 26-17.
Again, old-fashioned power football off the right-hand side of the Miami offense. And almost unchallenged into the end zone goes Ronnie Brown. But the play of that drive was the play before, the completion to Ricky Williams down the far sideline to set up this touchdown by Ronnie Brown.
Dan, we watched this play, and Mike Shanahan's words come back to me when we talked to him yesterday morning. What makes Miami go is Ronnie Brown. He makes people miss.
Well, Justin Smiley, the off guard, came around with a block that time, and there he gets a little love from Ronnie Brown.
Ricky Williams, who made a terrific catch inside the 5-yard line to keep this drive going. This is Eddie Royal. A couple of yards deep in the end zone. To the 20, penalty marker is down, and Royal is off to the races, out to the 40-yard line, and let's check the flag. Dolphins think this is going to come back.
During the return, holding number 85, receiving team.
And it is.
This
Chad
penalty be
Mustard
assessed
is
half
guilty
distance
of the
to the
hold.
goal. First down.
You know, any way you look at it, CBS is television's #1 network with the #1 comedy and the #1 new comedy, the #1 news magazine and the #1 news show, plus the #1 show on television. CBS is America's most watched network.
Well, that hurt Denver as that moves the ball all the way back inside the 10-yard line. And they're going to have to get on their horse and get going now. Under 3 minutes.
Denver with 2 timeouts remaining. Miami has all 3 of theirs. Andre Hall in the backfield as Cutler operates from the shotgun. Just a 3-man rush. The pass over the middle to Royal. Complete out to the 24.5-yard line. And that's a first down, and the clock is moving. 2:47, 2:46, 2:45. 16-yard pickup on the pass from Cutler to Royal. Penalty marker flies, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Marshall.
Got a procedure call here against Denver.
Illegal formation, offense, only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
7 rushing yards today is not going to get it done.
Well, that just means you can't praise the Dolphins defense enough.
On first down, batted down at the line of scrimmage.
It looked like Randy Starks.
It was Randy Starks.
And Tony Sperano could not be quick enough to point out what a fine year Randy Starks is having. What an addition he has been coming over from Tennessee.
Speaking of Tennessee, looking forward to seeing those Titans next Sunday.
Those undefeated Titans, I guess.
Betcha. Cutler from the shotgun on 2nd and 15. Cutler throws over the middle, and that's complete across the 30 to Eddie Royal. Those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS and our game between Miami and Denver. Greg Gumbel along with Dan Deerdorf. Miami leads at 26-17. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. Cutler with time, throwing, and that's complete. Nice touch on that ball thrown to Brandon Stokely. And we get the 2-minute warning at the minute 56 mark. Miami, Joey Porter and company. A superlative effort on the road here in Denver on the verge of a victory over the Broncos. Coming up after the game, time permitting, the Subway postgame show. I believe our friend Shannon Sharp picked these Miami Dolphins to win this game on the NFL Today. Shannon will join JB, Dan, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the NFL scores and highlights on the Subway postgame show. The give is to Andre Hall, and Hall out to about the 48-yard line as the clock moves under a minute 50 to play.
Well, considering Denver needs a touchdown and a field goal to take the lead, right now the Dolphins defense more than willing to give up some yardage.
Cutler going to go deep now, and that is incomplete inside the 15-yard line. Brandon Stokely, the intended receiver, and that'll stop the clock at 1:32.
Now, I can tell you right now, if I'm Paul Pasqualoni, the defensive coordinator for Miami, that was a little too close for comfort. That was letting Stokely get open in the middle. That could have been a disaster. I think he's pointing that out to his guys right now. Everything has to be in front of you.
We could be looking at a 26-24 game.
That was close.
3rd and 4. Cutler looking for a first down and throws, and there's Marshall, and here's Marshall. His big deal is yards after the catch. And Marshall out of bounds at the 35, and here comes a penalty marker. And let's see if the Broncos get charged for an illegal block.
Well, Eddie Royal threw a block that allowed Marshall to get to the sideline.
And the officials are discussing it.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 19. 10-yard penalty. Still third down.
That was the royal block.
All right, he's coming in from the left-hand side, and that's a good call.
Got him right on the number 3.
Yep, he hit Jason Allen right in the back. That was a good call by the official.
And before the next snap of the ball, we're going to get an adjustment here.
The penalty was assessed from the spot of the flag. After a 10-yard penalty, it comes up short of a first. It is third down.
So it's third and about a foot for Cutler and the Denver Broncos. And Cutler on the move. Here's Hall out of the backfield. He has the first down and is out of bounds just short of the 40-yard line, stopping the clock with 1:18.
This game is not over yet, and Mike Shanahan knows it. If they can get in the end zone and do a successful onside kick, keep in mind the leg that their field goal kicker Matt Prater has. He can really go from a long way away.
Cutler throwing over the middle. Ooh. Marshall hit hard, and it was Tyrone Culver who took the brunt of it.
Well, but Marshall saw Culver coming and short-armed it. Listen in.
It's a frustrated Brandon Marshall today. Culver has a big interception on the Miami side of the ball. 2nd and 10. 1:11 to play. Cutler looking for the end zone. Throwing. It is incomplete.
Andre Goodman. Are you kidding me? These guys in the Miami secondary just keep coming up with one big play after another. Brandon Marshall has him beat. He has him beat. That ball goes through Marshall's hands. But Goodman then pulls down his arm, but not until the ball had already gone through the arms of Brandon Marshall. Marshall could have caught that for a touchdown.
Cutler is 24 out of 44 today for 306 yards. And throwing here, incomplete, through the hands of Stokely at the 25.
And you can just see the frustration on Jay Cutler's face. That is one discouraged guy. That is not a discouraged guy there.
No, Tony Sperano wants one more big play on defense. 4th and 10. 4-man rush. Cutler throws, and that one's batted down. Big play by Jason Allen on Eddie Royal. And the ball goes over to the Miami Dolphins. While we have a moment to James Brown in New York. JB.
Hey, Greg and Ann, take a look here. The Giants running back Derek Ward with a 17-yard run off tackle right. That run there brought the team total to 180 yards rushing, and they're leading the Cowboys 35-14 late in the 4th. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf.
JB, that kind of rushing yardage is a pipe dream for the Denver Broncos today.
So, Greg, let me ask you a question. Miami's record after this is going to be what?
4-4.
Denver's record is going to be what?
4-4.
Have you ever seen two 4-4s headed in opposite directions like these two?
We said that at the top of the day. At the top of the day, things have been going in the opposite directions considering the way these teams started. Miami lost its first 2 games of the year. Denver won its first 3, but things have changed.
Denver has now lost 4 of their last 5, and Miami is playing good, confident football. And this is a discouraged Denver Bronco football team. But when they look at the stat sheet and see that they were only able to run the ball for 7 yards
A kiss for Joey Porter on the sideline.
Pretty much begins and ends right there.
Joey Porter gets kissed more than any other football player I've ever seen.
Not by the broadcasters.
No. Pennington takes a knee, and that'll put the cap on a Miami victory, and a big one on the road. Final score, Miami 26 and Denver 17. Coming up tonight here on CBS, it's 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Cold Case, and The Unit. This has been an interesting game. For Dan Deerdorf, Greg Gumbel saying so long from Invesco Field at Mile High. The Miami Dolphins go on the road and chalk up a huge win, 26-17. Thanks for joining us, everyone. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.